Hey, everybody. Joey from the VBM podcast. I'm here with Cody Landfeld.
Hey, good to be here.
Yeah, we just got done talking to Eric Jett of Fepeste, and look what I got in the mail. I
All
wish
right.
I had some time to listen to it on
Welcome to the club.
vinyl. Yeah, man, this is cool. Yeah, so Eric, super nice guy. We went over the top 3 most streamed songs on Spotify. And we also talked about his studio. We also talked about his gear. We also talked about his life in Colorado. And we just had an all around good conversation. I think I'm speaking for Cody as well.
Yeah, honestly, and one of the most refreshing things was to just hear about where Eric is at spiritually and understand, his Reformed Christianity, Reformed Baptist theology, how it has an influence on his songwriting and how that comes out in the song. So that was really cool to talk about that and just go through these 3 songs that we focused on and just see how it applies in his overall life.
Yeah, I totally agree. And this ended up being like probably the most Christian conversation I had on a podcast. And it was really encouraging for me. We talked about his upcoming, I think he's working on a new record he mentioned yesterday. He's currently working on that. And yeah, that's about it. So we had a good conversation. I hope you guys enjoy listening to it. And what do you think, Cody?
Yeah, and, you forgot one thing. I think he has an alternate version of, one of his songs he's kinda toying with releasing. So, maybe if we get enough streams on this, get some comments going, we could just, bend Eric's ear or bend his opinion to be able to put that song out. All the Feels,
Yeah.
I think, is the one and which is my personal favorite on the record.
Yeah. And I kind of mentioned like that'll be nice to have a nice little 7-inch release, but that's all up to Jeff Cloud and all of the powers that be. But anyway, everybody, thank you for joining. Please give us some good feedback and also, yeah, enjoy yourself. Thank you.
They say it's a young man's game. Well, I'm sitting on this bench, feeling my age. And if I've got a part to play, it ain't center stage, and that's okay. They say it's a rigged game.
You're listening to the Velvet Blue Music Podcast. In each episode, hosts Joey Escabel and Cody Landfeld sit down with a featured VBM artist and discuss one of their favourite records, the stories behind the songs, and other insights. Let's join Joey, Cody, and their featured guest on today's Velvet Blue Music Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Velvet Blue Music Podcast. This is Joey. We have Cody here. Thank you, Cody, for being here. We have a special guest, and I am really excited about this. His name is Eric Jett, and he is pretty much the mastermind. You did everything on the Fepeste records. Is that right, Eric?
Pretty much. Yeah. No, thanks for having me. I'm stoked to be here talking to the Squeebs. I'm excited to interview one of my hero drummers on one of my favorite albums ever. So I got a bunch of questions for you. Thanks for doing this. I'm just kidding. Yeah, what if I just took over your podcast and I just started interviewing you?
Dude, that means a lot to me because I had a lot. Actually, show everybody your shirt real quick if you can see. If there we go. So that is the one single full length record I played on when I played for Starflyer, and that was a lot of fun. So
It's an all-time favorite album of mine.
yeah, that was a lot of fun. I got a lot of cool stories about that too that I'll talk to you outside of this interview. But
How can we do it now? Let's just do it, and
good.
we don't need to talk about my music.
So to be honest with you, I didn't hear any of your music until Cody said, "Hey, you need to listen to this Fepeste record, and we need to have this guy Eric on the show because it's really good. So I didn't think anything of it. I threw it in. Well, I didn't have a CD player, but I turned it on. I started streaming it, and I was very impressed. I was very encouraged. And what I was really impressed with was the music was super cool. It was super different, and you weren't afraid to flat out teach biblical truth. It's really, really hard. I understand that a lot of people try to water it down in order to please all sides, but I think that was the most punk rock thing to do. What do you think, Cody?
Yeah, I think you said the right thing, Joey. It's punk rock these days because I probably said this on other conversations and podcasts, but it's always people who can't stop telling you, oh, I used to be a Christian and oh, this and that. Like I'm a Gnostic now or something. It's like, okay, we heard about it 5 minutes ago. So, point being is it's very punk rock to kind of have, first of all, a band and sing about your faith and be just unapologetic about it, you know? So that's refreshing to me because it's so trendy for all of the bands that we came up listening to in teenage years. I'm 45. I hate to admit that on a podcast, but like I'm grew up in that mid 90s to late 90s Christian rock scene. So I went to a lot of Starflare concerts and all these bands now, if they even surface again, they're going to give you a lecture on why you should be a humanist or why you should be this and that. And no disrespect to anybody, but it's no longer cool to be a Christian. So anyhow, that was super refreshing to hear this on this record. So.
Well, thank you. You guys are going to oh, I just want to say thanks. You guys are already complimenting me way too much. You got to slow down on that. But no, I do want to say that I appreciate you guys kind of resonating with the lyrics that I've written. I think, Joey, you said that, I set out to teach biblical truths, and I didn't. My goal, when I first started writing music, I didn't really think that many people would listen to it. It was mostly for myself, and that's the same with this album. I mean, even as I was writing and recording all this stuff, I had no idea that Jeff would want to release it on Velvet Blue. And so all the lyrics and everything, that was all for me. I'm just teaching myself these truths, and I'm trying to remind myself of these things. So yeah, I mean, there's not really an agenda there, but it means a lot to know that it was refreshing for you guys to hear all that. So thank you.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And speaking of Jeff has always been like this, right? With Velvet Blue, he would sign or release secular bands, but also he wasn't afraid to release full-on Christian bands if they were good bands. And I think you're an example of that. Being brave today, a lot of people say being brave is basically going against conservatism and stuff like that. I think being brave is just saying, hey, look, I'm a Christian. This is what I believe in, to a world that hates Jesus Christ, right? Just naturally.
Yeah, again, thank you. I don't think of myself as brave. I think of myself as stupid and foolish, and I just like making music, and I don't know how to be anything other than myself. So what comes out is what comes out, but for better or worse. But yeah, you're right. There can be challenges for sure being a Christian in today's world. It's challenging being anything in today's world these days. Everybody, everybody is chronically online, and everybody has an opinion about everything, and it's rough out there.
And you wrote a song about that too. I think it was about being online all the time and
doom
just
surfing.
being drained. Yeah, that's what it was. But hey, Eric, tell me a little bit about yourself. Well, first off, where are you located? I think you said it was Colorado Springs. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. Colorado Springs, Colorado. So.
And are you native there, or did you grow up somewhere else?
I grew up in San Jose, California, so South Bay area. Moved out here in high school, had a lot of friends that spent a lot of time back in California after high school as well. But at this point, I've spent more of my years in Colorado than California. But I had a lot of family that lived on the coast, spent a lot of time by the beach, and still I'm just a California boy at heart, which is why still got all that surf rock in my blood. And a lot of those 90s and early 2000 California punk bands, like on Betty Rocket Records. I came to Tooth and Nail later, actually. Like that was I didn't grow up in a Christian household where I was only allowed to listen to Christian artists. You know, you often hear a lot of people in this scene that discovered people like Starflyer from the very early days. You know, I didn't actually discover, well, yeah, that's a whole tangent. But yeah. So a lot of those local California bands really influenced me a lot. And
Did your dad have a job out in Colorado, and you guys just had to move there?
it was close as my mom. But yeah. She wanted to move out here, so.
Okay,
It's beautiful, you know. I'm right by the mountains. You know, the mountains are beautiful out here.
Yeah.
If I'm not by the beach, at least I've got those. We've got family that live in Nebraska, and we get out there to see them, and love seeing them. No offense if you live in Nebraska, that's a boring drive. It's so flat.
I can't deal with that. We got mountains in Idaho and then mountains in Arizona, right? So is Idaho flat?
It's pretty flat, man. It's flat.
Okay.
But just like you, Eric, I grew up in Southern California. I moved to Idaho 8 years ago, just basically because of affordability. I just wanted to be able to get some land out here and not pay an arm and a leg. So it's working out pretty good out here. So
there you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna move us along here. I hope that's okay. It says here you are a whiskey distillery or distiller, distiller.
Yes, I myself am not a whiskey distillery. That's the place where we distill whiskey. But
that'd be something. Yeah. How'd you get into that, man? What made you interested in getting into that type of work?
I was a screen printer for a while. I never went to college, didn't get a degree in anything. So I was screen printing for a while. My wife and I both really enjoyed whiskey, and had a little whiskey collection and all that. And then for one of our wedding anniversaries, we decided to one of the things we did was tour a local whiskey distillery when we were living up in Denver, and never had thought about making whiskey at the time. If anybody listening is a whiskey drinker, you look at the marketing for whiskey and you think it's like, oh, it's this recipe handed down by someone's great grandfather, and you got to like live in Kentucky and moonshine in the hills and all this stuff, and you got to you come from a very specific background. So I never thought about doing it before, but seeing it made at this distillery was pretty awesome, and I thought, I want to do that. So I'm a very persistent person, and I bugged the crap out of them every 2 weeks for almost a year until they finally relented and hired me. And so I learned it all on the job. I'm working at a different distillery now down here in Colorado Springs, but I've been making whiskey for about 15 years now.
And that's what you do for your trade. That's what you do for money.
That's what pays the bills. Yeah.
We were talking about Jeff a second ago here. So how did you come to know Jeff? Like, how did you meet him? What made Jeff want to release your record?
Oh, I still have no idea why Jeff wanted to release this album. He said he likes it though. So no, I emailed Jeff. I actually looked this up because I knew you were going to ask it. I looked at my old emails, and it was January of 2023. I, out of the blue, just sent him an email. I was wrapping up my previous album, and took a shot in the dark. Thought I'd email Jeff and see if he wanted to release my album on Velvet Blue. My foot in the door, though, I think really was the whiskey. So I kind of bribed him, sort of. I said, "Hey, I've got these songs. I'm working on releasing an album. Do you want to hear them? Oh, also, by the way, if you like whiskey, I can send you some." Which I did not do. I did not send whiskey through the mail to him because that would have been illegal. So I found some legal way to get it to him. That's all I'll say on that. So yeah, anyway, he responded to the email. He's like, yeah, I'll listen to the stuff. And yeah, sure. I'll take some whiskey. So that was kind of how I opened that door with him. And over the years, we've just kind of sent some emails back and forth. I guess it was a couple of years ago now, back in 2024, he was out this way coming through Colorado Springs. And so he reached out, and I showed him around the distillery. And that was the first time I actually met Jeff in person. So I never
tell us
met
about
him.
that. What did you expect? Have you seen how tall Jeff is?
Well, he's tall.
Or?
Yeah, he's tall. Yeah.
Tall guy.
No, obviously, the nicest guy ever. so I was super nervous. So I give tours at our distillery all the time. People come through and want to see how we make our whiskey and stuff. And so it's not nervous. I'm not nervous doing it, but I was that day because I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm showing Jeff Cloud how I make whiskey. So that was fun. But after that, he declined releasing my previous album on the label. And then as I was writing this album, I was kind of keeping him up to date, and I would send him stuff from time to time, and eventually he was like, let's do it. So
now he didn't release it. You know, he probably had like a stack of other things he had to release, right? It's not like he didn't like your music.
If I remember correctly, he was a gentleman about it. He was very nice, and you know, said that there was a lot of other stuff on his plate. But I mean, I think my previous album is pretty good. I'm still mostly happy with it. But yeah.
So why why the change of mind with this latest record, The World Ain't Mine to Change?
You'd have to ask him that. I don't know. So I was sending him stuff, and we were talking about the possibility of releasing it on VBM. And there was a point, actually, I was really close to finishing it. And he emailed me and was like, hey, actually, I've got too much going on this year. I don't think I'm going to be able to release this album either. And I was like, no problem. You know, I was just super stoked that he even considered it. It was very unexpected. There's not a lot of labels these days that I even, continue to follow. And the current climate of people releasing their own music, it seems like there's less and less of a need for labels, and a lot of the best ones from yesteryear have kind of faded away. But VBM has been one that I've followed for a long time, and he was who I wanted to release any of my music. So anyway, I was honored that he would listen to it. And then this one almost didn't get released. And so I was actually almost about to self-release it again. And out of the blue, he emailed me, like, it was like 3 months later. He's like, hey, by the way, how's that album coming? Because I've got an opening in October if you want to release it. So it was kind of a up and down, back and forth, that didn't know what to expect for a while there.
So obviously he loved the music. It was just he had prior arrangements that he had to follow through with.
I think so. Yeah. I mean,
let's go with that.
Let's go with that. I that's what I tell myself. That's how I sleep at night, is Jeff Cloud likes my music. So
yeah. That's
he says all the time, album of the year contender. So I think this is a nice fit within the slate of albums that came out last year.
He released so many incredible albums this year. I mean, yeah, it's been a amazing run. I think the past few years, honestly, he's put out some amazing stuff.
It holds up. I mean, like I said, just kind of putting it in the whole slate of things that came out last year. I know Starflyer put out a record. That's fine, but it's all good.
Deja Me Dormir.
Oh yeah,
that's good. Yeah.
That one.
That's also how I sleep at night. Jason's Lullabies.
So how did you discover VBM? Like, when was it? Like in late 90s or when it?
No, I was thinking about that the other day, and best I can remember is it must have been around like 2006. So I'm kind of late to some of these labels. I didn't even get into Starflyer. I don't really get into Starflyer. I was aware of them until like 2005, and then went back and listened to all the back catalog. And I'm just kind of a late bloomer. I was listening to other stuff at the time. Anyway, VBM, that's what you asked about. I think the first release I bought from Velvet Blue was the Broadway Hush's 2 7-inches, the Sun Songs and Moon Songs, because I was I still am, anything that Michael and Whitney put out. I was a big Paige France fan. And so when I found out that they were doing a little side project with Whitney taking care of the lead vocals, had to get my hands on that. So I think that might have been the first thing I bought from Velvet Blue. Mm-hmm. Best that I can remember, but I've been distilling whiskey for 15 years, so I can't trust that anymore.
Yeah, 2006. That's pretty deep into it. Yeah, my old band Jupiter James was released. I think it was one of the first releases, and that's when I obviously heard about him, like before he released anything. So anything over 19, '96 seems late to me. So
Yeah, no, I had to go back and get in on all the back catalog stuff and listen to
mhm.
as much as I could. And some of it, even back then, is hard to find. I think there's some releases I haven't even heard from Velvet Blue because I haven't been able to find them, and some stuff's just not up on streaming these days. So,
Got it. Yeah.
but
Well, hey man, let's get into your band here. I'm gonna take a crack at something. So for Peste, when I first started listening to it, and I didn't hear you before. I'm hearing Lemonheads. I'm hearing Dinosaur Jr. vocal, Jens Lekman, and he kind of has your sound, just having random instruments, a lot of percussion instruments going on at the
okay,
same time. So that's kind of what I gathered from it, and of course, the greatest band ever, Bell and Sebastian. So those are, I think, if you mix all those bands together and you pour it out, it's Fepeste, I think.
Little sprinkling of the shins in
Throw,
there too. I
yeah,
can hear that.
throw a Bible in there and then mix it up, and then you got Fepeste.
I'll take that, man. That sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
Does that sound right, Cody? I don't think I'm far off.
Sounds like it to me. I mean, like I said, to me, I heard the Shins, that album. Oh my gosh, what's the album that they kind of had the big hit on? I forget, but this some of the songs just kind of the way, because what I really appreciate about the album is it doesn't feel like it's like the percussion and the rhythm is not just like a straight like it's not super smooth. It's kind of a little clunky. I hope that's not like a hope it's not like an unintended insult, but I think
No,
it's that's what adds to the character of the record. So
cool.
that's
Yeah,
that is the
clunky. I
kind of
like that.
right. So I like the clunky rhythm as far as some of the just how the drums sound. It's obviously on time, but it's got a clunkiness to it, and I think that's cool.
I'll take clunky. I mean, I have to admit, I like hearing that, especially with the drums, um, because those are all MIDI drums. I don't have the ability to record
Yeah,
drums myself. Those
I
aren't
told
real,
Joey
and I
that he
hate
almost
I
Wow.
hate
right.
to admit that to Joey right now.
I
Like
know he almost didn't do
uh,
this interview because of that. He was almost.
I
I had to keep you
I wouldn't
in the
blame
mix
him.
here.
Like I'm ashamed
I can I
to be
tell you. So
talking
here's the
to.
deal. Here's the deal, dude. Like when you get older and you're like, look at, I could program something that could. You don't have to worry about miking. You don't have to worry about the room.
Yeah.
Just use these samples, and nobody cares anyway. Then there's just as much talent programming it and putting a specific fill in certain areas. I mean, what's the difference, really? I don't see a difference. I guess
All
when you
right.
play live, there's a difference. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
No, I'm glad to hear that. I was worried what your
yeah,
response would be, but I guess being a
worried.
software developer, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because you just program stuff and get the work done and go home. There's nothing wrong with that in
Yeah.
my eyes.
So this room that I'm in, it's like an 8 by 10 tiny little room. I can't even fit a drum set in here,
Hmm.
and I don't have the ability to mic it. And I can't play drums very well. I can hold down like a basic beat, but
Mhm.
uh, so. And when I'm writing and recording these songs, it's usually at night when my kids are in bed. So that's the other thing, is that if I'm wanting to work on an idea or a part, I'm not, uh, able to record drums at night anyway.
Hmm.
So it was really just a matter of convenience and workflow. Also because like to pay a real drummer to actually record drums on my song, that's also a little bit out of my reach at the moment. So it was really just convenience. I had to do it myself. And like with a lot of electronic music where all the drums are programmed, they have a certain tone to them, and so people kind of allow it. But with I think when you're trying to have natural sounding drums, it does feel like cheating a little bit when you're trying to create music where maybe a drum machine might not work as well as natural
Hmm.
sounding drums to,
Right.
you know, hey, these drums
It's
kind of sound real, but they're not.
right.
Sorry.
It's the organic feel. I feel bad saying
Yeah.
clunky. It's organic. It's organic.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't feel bad. I like clunky. I'm gonna put that
Okay.
in a promo reel or something. Cody Landfield, clunky. Yeah, it's
Well, let's see. I got to move this along here, otherwise it'll be 2 hours here, which I would, but I think the listeners might mind. Let's go on to the artwork. If people could see, it is just a painting of a cliff. Tell me about that. Is that the right one? It's a cliff and a bunch of colors, color bars.
Yeah, that one right there. Yep, that's the album
Yeah,
cover.
tell me a little bit about this and why you chose it.
So that is a painting by a guy named Adam Anglin, and he's someone I knew from when I was living up in Denver. He is a musician and obviously a painter, and really big fan of both his music and his artwork. And while I was writing this album pretty early in the process, I think it was around like March of 2024, he had painted this one and put it up on his social media or website or something. And the second I saw it, I knew immediately that was going to be, or that I wanted it to be the album cover. So reached out to him, and I now have the original hanging in my house, which is super cool. But I just think it's a beautiful painting that I think captures the vibe and the feel, as well as the theme of the album, and in a very abstract kind of way. So
now, what's the idea with the cliff? Am I thinking too deep into this?
Maybe a little bit. Well, so it's not so much the cliff, although I like his work, and there was something about this one, the colors, the balance, and all that, that just really worked for me on that level. But the reason why, I think in the back of my mind, I was always kind of considering using his work, because I already had the album title at that point. I already knew what it would be called. And his I don't know how to describe art. It's kind of a very modern art style. But he does a lot of these things where he'll paint a landscape, and then he'll put these, super modern shapes and bright colors and stuff, kind of overlay that over it. And with this idea of us as humans, we all have this desire to change the world around us. We, ideally want to leave it, the world a better place after we leave the world. But we have this desire to kind of shape the world in our image, or however, according to our own fancies. And there's something about his work that always in my mind that kind of fit with that idea and that title of here's this landscape that you're painting, but I'm also going to include these like really bright abstract shapes and colors in there, like kind of make it more modern. I don't know if I'm explaining that well.
No, I think that's great. Yeah, because I would have read a little too deep into that, but I could see that. Well, I mean, just the landscape itself. It's like, okay, this is the Lord's world that He's created, and we add things to it. I guess maybe I'm still looking too deep into it.
No, I don't think you are. But the other side of that is the lyrics on the last song on the album, referencing the shore and stuff. There, you do have the cliffs, but then you have that ocean shore right there. So I think it does tie into the lyrics, especially in the last song a little bit.
Yep. And then also I noticed you have like a logo too, which looks super cool. Did Adam help with that too, or?
No, a guy named Jaden Bricker. We just met online. Another one of the cool things about, I guess, modern technology and the internet is meeting cool people like you guys. So Jaden, met him online. He's like an illustrator and he's also a musician. I reached out and asked him to, or I think he might have reached out to me. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. Either way, I had asked him to do like this logo thing, and he killed it. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, that's cool. So he's a musician. Adam Anglin's a musician. Do you guys like produce each other's music at all? Do you guys? I know that Adam is where you are, right? Colorado.
He's up in Denver, so like an hour and a half away. Yeah.
Okay, so do you guys get together and write or anything?
That would be cool, but we don't. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Cody, did you want to add anything here before we move on?
No, the logo, I appreciate it. And I appreciate the joke on the record where he has the test A right here.
Oh, yeah. So that might be one of my favorite things about the artwork, because it's just a dad joke.
Right.
When I was trying to come up with, So I laid the artwork out for the physical release, and I was trying to think, okay, what do you put on this giant circle in the middle of the record? And so I put the logo because it's a circle. But how do you differentiate side A from side B? Because the band name is Fepeste. It's Fepeste A and then Fepeste B, which means absolutely nothing. But I just thought it was funny. It was stupid, and I told my wife about it,
Fun.
and she was like, She kind of rolled her eyes and was like, "That's like the most you thing." And
it's fun.
And so I was, as soon as she said that is the most you thing, because like I'm not looking to be something I'm not. I was like, I knew then that I had to do that. I had to like roll with that idea. So
It's cool, man.
So my copy is in the mail right now, according to Cloud. So I'm going to go check that out. I didn't know that was happening. So
We just spoiled your surprise, Joey.
oh, that's okay.
Sorry,
That's
man.
okay. Other facts about this record here. Like I said before, written, produced, recorded, and mixed by Eric Jett. That's pretty awesome. I thought Jason mixed and mastered.
Jason mastered it.
Okay, so you did the mixing as well. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't know Jason knew how to master. I know that
Oh, really?
he has his own studio. I know he records. Well, back in the day, Jason would go record in his garage out in Orange County, and then he would give it to somebody else to go and mix and master it. Maybe it was I forgot who it was, but it looks like he's mastering, so that's pretty cool. He's probably been doing that for a while.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a dream come true for me. He used to have a website offering mastering services, and I know that other people have hired him to produce, record, mix, master, like do all their work. There's some albums that I love that he's had a very heavy hand in as like an engineer and producer even. So for a long time, I was really wanting him to have some sort of a hand in my music in one way or another. But he had since taken down his website offering, his services. And so I didn't know if I'd ever have a chance because I wasn't writing music back then. And then when I was talking with Jeff about this, even if we weren't going to release it on Velvet Blue, I asked Jeff, I was like, hey, can you talk to Jason and see if he'll master it for me at least? So that was a really cool thing.
That's pretty cool.
I've been wanting Jason to have a
that's
hand
cool.
in something I did for a long time. So that was a dream come true.
Yeah, and I have a question about the mastering. So going through that process, I've never recorded an album to this level. I did a little bit of music back in the day, whatever. But tell me about the process of working with Jason and doing the mastering, because I'm a dummy when it comes to like that whole process and how you work long distance. Just did you get on like a Zoom call and walk through it, or how did that go?
No, this is honest. I would not have expected anything else other than how it went down. No, I asked Jeff to talk to Jason and see if he'd be willing. Jason said he told Jeff that he'd be willing, I guess. And there was a deadline that we needed to get the masters done by a certain date so they could be submitted to the vinyl pressing plant. And I haven't talked with Jason. I've never talked with the guy. It all went through Jeff as like the mediator. I got the files to Jeff. Jeff got them to Jason. Jason mastered them. Jeff sent them over. There wasn't even like chance for any type of like changes because of the deadline, which I'm fine with because I think Jason did a fantastic job.
Okay,
good. So it was just kind of a really simple thing. Honestly, Jeff could be pulling my leg and he could be telling me that, oh yeah, Jason mastered it when, Jeff could have mastered it for all I know. I don't know. I'm trusting him though that Jason did it. It sounds great.
Whoever mastered it sounds really good. Right? The whole record sounds great. So, and even your mixing, right, is top notch. I thought everything just sounded great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. There's things about the album that I would love to change from a mix level if I could these days. I listen back to it and all I hear are the little mistakes, I'm like, oh, I should change that.
Well,
I can't now, so.
I can imagine somebody who's like just such a tinkerer and a songwriter and a producer, and you do all these things and you'll never be finished with something. It's got to just be a stopping point. That's why my curiosity about the mastering and not having a back and forth, you sort of just have to surrender yourself to that process, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
it was really good having a deadline. That was something that my previous two albums were self-released, and at some point, you just got to put it out there.
Hmm.
But Jeff giving me deadlines and being like, "Hey, you got to have it done by this date, otherwise we're going to miss our window." And I'm like, "Okay, I guess it is what it is, and I can't make any more changes." And
Hmm.
that is very freeing. I would love to in the future collaborate more with other people and offload some of those responsibilities. But the reason that I do mostly everything is out of necessity. It's just a time and a workflow and a budget kind of thing that
Hmm.
I can do this on weekends and weeknights, and I can do it in my little room. And yeah, so again, it's one of those things where technology is pretty awesome, at least in
Hmm.
this regard, that I'm able to do it. But
Yeah, we were discussing it with Rob. These days, we could record a full, big sounding album in our rooms with about $2,000 worth of equipment. Where back in the day, we had to go to the green room in order to get that sound. It's really really cool. And on top of it, you're programming the drums. I mean, that's it's just an amazing time we live in.
hmm it
So
is.
yeah, but as far as contributors to the record, I know that the female vocals is a woman named Thea. Is it Noelle or Noelle?
It's Taya Noel.
Noelle. Okay, Taya.
Yeah, and it's
Taya
Taya.
Noelle. Okay, yeah, I
Yeah,
screwed
yeah.
that one. Sorry, Taya.
Oh, it's fine. Everybody screws her name up. She's used to it.
She also does her own stuff too, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
do you
So,
do you help produce her too and help her
yes.
out?
So she has an album called "In the Land of the Living," and I recorded and produced that with her. That was kind of my dipping my toe back into learning how to really at all like learning how to record music and stuff. So I got that equipment specifically for that purpose. So her album's great. Again, I'm not throwing shade. All her parts are wonderful. Um, but I listen to, I'm like, oh, I would change that now. I'd change this now. Cause that was a few years ago at this point, and I feel like I've gotten a little bit better.
Hmm.
But I don't get to produce her stuff very often. She is now a missionary living in Moldova.
oh
So it is
wow.
very, very rare that she's able to even be back stateside and visit. But she does write awesome music. Yeah.
I don't even know where that is. Is a country? I'm like Googling it right
It's,
now here.
it's between Romania and Ukraine,
Okay,
I
Oh my
believe.
goodness.
You can double
former
check me on that. I know.
former Soviet Republic. That's pretty. So she's doing missionary work out there.
Yeah.
That is so cool, man. I love hearing things like that.
Yeah,
Um,
I might sound like an idiot for any geography experts out there, but I'm pretty sure that's where it is. I've looked it up before.
well, I just admitted I was an idiot by googling it in the middle of a podcast episode. So, um, but no, she sounds really nice. It just seems like a nice blend of everything. You got a lot going on, but you didn't overdo it. Which, if does that make sense to you at all? There's a lot.
Yeah, thank you. I
Yeah.
feel like I overdid it, but thank you.
And also, I don't know how this happened. I never thought I'd read an album review on the in a Southern Baptist Theological Seminary webpage. How did that happen?
Yeah. Oh, so that's Chet Harvey. He's in the Velvet Blue Music Facebook group,
Oh no
and
way.
he's been so kind. He has been a big supporter and fan of the album, and he wanted to do a write up on it. He works there at that seminary, and yeah, to this day, that's a lot of people have said a lot of nice things about my music the past few years, but that particular review was probably the most meaningful because
Hmm.
I think Chet really gets the heart behind this album and really understands kind of what I was aiming for. I
Hmm.
don't, I don't know if I hit the mark, but reading his review, it makes me feel like I did. So that was really cool. Yeah. So
I think that's probably a place where you could go and sort of market your record to these Baptist publications or something. I don't know. It sounds like a silly vertical, but
Songs for Baptists.
yeah, there
yeah,
you go.
Cloud, get on it. Market my record to those Baptists. Come on,
Yeah,
Cloud.
hey, I mean, I know it's not like there's not it's not really popular like like we were talking about before. There's not really uh, a record store that sells Christian music or quote unquote Christian music anymore. But I think that is interesting every time you come across somebody who's got legitimate, you know, Christian vocals, or the lyrics are spot on, you know. So I think that's very encouraging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Untapped market. Come on,
There you go.
Baptists.
Yeah.
Make Cloud some money. Buy the record so that Cloud wants to release the next one on Velvet Blue. Let's do it.
There you go.
I was going to move on to the next part of this episode here. We're going to discuss the top 3 most streamed songs on Spotify. And the first one coming up is That's Okay.
Oh, come what may, I'll just be here in my lane, giving thanks and singing praise. This world ain't mine to
And that's understandable. It seems like that would be the main single of the record. Do you agree?
Yeah, that was the first single we released. So it's the second song on the album, but I really think that it captures the lyrical theme well as musical. It kind of informs you where you're headed on this album.
Did you choose to put this song out first, or was that Jeff's idea?
That was mine.
Okay.
Yeah, I the whole process with Jeff was so easygoing. We were just emailing and or texting back and forth, and I think he might have asked me, if I'm remembering right, what songs I thought should be singles, and I told him my thoughts, and he was like, "Cool, sounds good." I don't think there's no pushback or anything. I don't know if I made the best choice, but
Yeah, just curious, because, you know, I could see Jeff probably having a strong opinion on that, but that's cool. He left it up to you.
oh, I'm sure if I chose a real stinker for a first single, he probably would have pushed back on it. But I don't know.
As far as the lyrics go of this song, this is what I gathered, and correct me. When I interviewed Rob with him, I was way off like 80% of the time. Just feel free to correct me. But I think it's typically like, we all know we're God's creation. We are very dependent on Jesus Christ. But thankfully, God's sovereign. And then we could be happy knowing that God is sovereign and we do have like a small place in this world. And just to be thankful, proclaim the good news of the gospel, and just know that God is the meaning of life, and just accept it. It's the first. What's the catechism? The very first catechism, is to.
Oh yeah. What's my only comfort in life and death? Or what's the chief end of man? Sorry, I might be thinking of a different catechism.
Is to I'm going to butcher this one. Is to love God and to enjoy Him forever. Is that right?
Yeah, to glorify God and to enjoy Him forever. Yep.
I never did my catechism, so forgive me, but I'm not that far away from the meaning of that song. Is that right?
Yeah, no, I'm going to pull a total Rob here and tell you you're way off base. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I think you're definitely spot on with that. Obviously, the album title comes from a line in that song. And it was one of the first songs written for the album. And all of my albums have a general theme. It helps me to kind of like give myself a box to think within. And that was one, like when I wrote that song, it helped me understand what the theme of the album was going to be. Mm-hmm. One big reason why the title was pulled from that song. But yeah, it's a coming to terms and seeking to find contentment with understanding like our place in this world, that I'm trying to not be more than I actually am. And I'm grateful to be releasing music. I didn't think that I'd have an album put on vinyl by Velvet Blue Music when I was writing this song. But just being content that God has given me this opportunity. And there'll be a time when no one will play this song anymore. Like it'll fade away into the sands of time, as will I. My great grandchildren probably won't know who I am and all that stuff. And I have a very limited influence on the direction of this world. As much as I would love to influence it greater, it's okay that I don't, because I'm not God. I'd probably do more damage than good if I had a greater influence, but it's really seeking, this song is about me trying to be okay with, and I think that's where the phrase "that's okay," the term "okay," I think implies you're not necessarily ecstatic about it, you're not thrilled, but it's a saying that's okay is like a relenting. I may not like my lot in life at times, but when it comes down to it, like,
Just an acceptance. Now,
yeah.
tell me this: the things that kept you up at night when you were a young Christian, not having control, not knowing what the future is, when you're being sanctified, you could actually sleep for those same reasons. Just resting in Jesus Christ, knowing that He decreed all things, He is sovereign over all things. We are very dependent on the Lord, and like a baby is dependent on its father, we could just kind of rest in that and enjoy that.
Yeah, I mean, that's not just as a young Christian, that's something I still struggle with. Like I think when you brought up doom surfing earlier, there's a lot of distractions in this world. There's a lot of things that make me forget things that I know to be true. And so it's not just a battle that I've won internally that I can now move on. It is a battle that needs to be constantly fought to find contentment and joy and peace in this life, because different seasons come and go, different stages of life. I've got kids now. It's a very different kind of life than it was a couple decades ago. So it's a constant reminder, which is why a lot of my last album before this one, the main theme and thrust of it was anxiety and worrying and trying to wrestle with those things. And I think there's still a lot of that in this album as well. So I'm just a naturally like worrying and anxious kind of person. Unfortunately, I get so caught up in my own thoughts, and it can be really destructive if I allow that kind of thinking to go on. So a lot of times, like, this music that I'm writing is almost even though I write about it, it's to pull me out of that. It's to, like, I don't know, give my mind something to think about that's maybe more productive. I don't know.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cody, did you want to add anything to that?
I think it's well said. I'm just happy to see Joey get one dub out of 4. So
yeah,
good job.
Yep. I'm getting better at this, guys. Yeah, I did have. Go ahead.
I listened to that Fine China, or the interview you did with Rob. Great interview. Fantastic guy. Great album. And it was just, every time you were like, I think this song means this, and then he'd be like, nope.
I'm just glad he was.
I was like listening, like cringing alongside of you, like, oh no.
Yeah, he's like, it sounds like a good idea, but it's actually not that at all.
I thought I nailed a couple of them. Like, for sure he's going to agree with me, and then it was just a 180-degree.
Yeah. Are you guys planning on doing this with everybody you talk to? Just interpreting their songs?
That's the kind of the organization, but it could always change if people get sick of it.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, I love it. You got to keep score though. Cody, you keep a scoreboard.
Yeah, that's what I'm interested in. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So let's go to the next one here. So the next mostly streamed song from that record is a song called Never Got Good.
Never got good, never learned right, never not squandering all my time. Empty your ears, drowning in sound.
Yeah.
And so here I go again. First off, before I say anything, is that you doing the what do you call that? The castanets? Is that you doing the castanets on that one?
No. So a lot of the percussion is real percussion. However, I do not own castanets. Even if I did, I probably wouldn't know how to play them. At least not well. So those castanets are MIDI.
Can I tell you, it's just encouraging me to go buy Pro Tools. And here's a little thing about me here. The very first time I ever played castanets and I laid it down was, that Starflyer EP, Can't Stop Eating.
Yes.
So I think it's the song, the very first one's called like Competing or something like that.
Competing, yeah. Yep.
And those are real castanets, and it was the first time I
Oh,
ever played them. And Jason joked around, and Jeff, they said that somehow I was bringing my inner Mexican out at that very moment. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It turned out pretty good. So anyway, I thought maybe you were
Yeah.
playing those castanets, but you
No,
programmed it.
no.
You programmed
I
it.
did. I did. But no, I noticed somewhat recently. I listened to that EP again not too long ago, and I did notice that the drum beat on Competing is similar to one of the beats that I use on That's Okay, the song we just talked about. I was
Okay.
like, oh yeah, that's that. I don't know if that's where I got the idea for that or not, but
I need to listen to that again. Well, I need to
yeah.
listen to both. I haven't listened to the other song for like probably 10 years, so I gotta listen to that again. But anyway, yeah. So this is never got good. I'm gonna give it a crack again here. Cody, did you want
All
to
right.
try first? Cody, why don't you try this?
no, I'm good. I'm trying to like write this score. So you're batting 25 or 250 out of 1,000. Yeah. I want to hear how this goes.
So there's an actual Cody knows this, right? There's an actual thing with a lot of like engineers or software developers where we have this thing that holds us back emotionally, where we think we're just failures. What's it called, Cody?
Uh,
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah,
It was on the tip of my
and
tongue. Yeah. I think we all have that. That's not just engineers. That's I think.
okay,
Yeah.
everybody that has a trade and they just don't think they're great. So when I listen to this song, I'm just thinking I'm like, well, this is how I feel every day. I just feel like I never got great at something, and I just do enough at my job or as a father, as a husband, to bear just kind of squeak by. And because of that, I get emotional about it, I get bad about it, and then I start throwing it on my friends, and then my burdens are thrown on my friends, and they're probably going through the same kind of stuff. So I'm not really helping them out, and just dealing with our everyday sin and everything like that. Am I in the ballpark there?
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say you're in the ballpark.
Oh,
That's part of it. Yeah.
2 for 2.
Nice. You're doing good, man.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel that way sometimes? Do you feel like you even mentioned with parts of the album, like, oh, I should have changed this. I should have added this thing
Okay.
or dropped it or.
Yeah, all the time. I feel that way. Again, I just admitted to the drummer on one of my all-time favorite albums that the drums are programmed on my latest album. Yeah, I absolutely feel imposter syndrome all the time about everything, even what I do for work and as a father and a husband. Yeah, I can't escape it.
I think that's
But
okay.
the song
okay.
is about more than that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay to feel that way, honestly, because can you imagine feeling so confident in what you're doing and being so wrong about it? Or I don't know. I think that most experts have nerves. I don't know that it's very uncommon to hear a pro athlete, musician, or somebody to not have nerves or have a feeling that when they go and perform or do a certain thing, whatever it is, big or small, there's you I think that's a good way to approach life and feel humbled and be willing to be humbled and know that you're always, dependent on God, you're dependent on just the fact that you need help. So I think that's a good place to end up at. Not that you're aiming to be like 60%, but kind of zooming out and examining it. Sorry for the lecture on this, but
No.
No.
I'll say this, right? Like sometimes when you get old, like me, you said you're 45, Cody. I'm 48,
yeah,
and sometimes 60% is all you could get. Is pretty much all you could give without you just.
Well, when you're that old, 60% is the new 100%, right?
That's how I feel anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you want to add anything, Eric, on this song here? I mean, was that pretty straightforward?
A cool thing about this song, so let's see, there's a little like couple of Easter eggs that mostly only I know about. The little toy piano sound at the beginning, that's a real toy piano that is not programmed. That little toy piano was left by the previous owners of the house that we live in. and it's sitting
cool.
behind me back there. And so I knew I wanted to use it on something, but that was just kind of basically inherited when we moved into this house. So that's cool. The female vocals on this song is not Taya. It is my wife, actually. She stepped outside of her comfort zone.
Okay.
So Taya, being a missionary in Moldova, she was back visiting, and I didn't even have all the songs written for this album. I tried to get her to sing on as much as we could, but we only had a couple short afternoons to get her vocals recorded. But there were some other songs that I hadn't finished quite yet, and so I asked my awesome wife if she wanted to take a crack at it and step outside of her comfort zone, and I think she did a great job. So
yeah, she sounds great. I didn't even notice. Did you notice, Cody?
I didn't notice that it sounded like, similar to me. So, I think she sounded great, honestly.
Yeah. Well, my
Sounds
wife
like-
will be thrilled to hear you say that because we both love Taya's voice.
I think
She's got
I
great
think
singing
there's
voice.
I think there's an EP down the pike, right, with your wife. You just write her a few songs and another VBM release. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll call it Bon Voyage or something,
Bon Voyage.
or See You Later or something.
Yeah, there you go. See you later.
Just do it. Just
What
do
is-
a covers thing. Make it easy.
Yeah, man. That's thank you. Any kind of Easter egg, please drop those, man. That's gold for a podcast guy.
I've got a bunch of them. Maybe.
Okay. So the third one, the most streamed on Spotify, is Be Forgotten.
And be forgotten by a world that never loved you.
My first question is so the song is only about a minute and 15 seconds. Is that right? Minute and a half?
Minute 24.
Okay. So minute 24 seconds. Did you feel pressured to make it longer, but then you just said like, no, I think a minute 24 is gonna, is kind of the sweet spot. It's gonna drive the point home. And
So, Be Forgotten is the first song on the album, and the last song on the album is Be Remembered. And so they bookend the album, and I've always been a fan of like short little intro songs on albums. I love it when people do that. I know in this streaming day and age, people rarely listen to whole albums anymore, but I've always liked kind of easing into it. Now, it depends on the album. Sometimes, you want like this awesome, bombastic, big, loud start, but I also like certain ones easing into it. And so I can explain to you, I never wanted to make that song longer. I wanted it short, and I wanted to bookend it. But did you want to take a crack at the lyrics, and we can see how your score does? Because I can tell you where the idea came from, but then it would ruin what the meaning is.
yeah, it's okay. All right, here we go.
Not that the meaning is very obscured. It's pretty hard.
All right, if I get this 3 for 3, I totally redeemed myself. myself. Okay.
Back to 500. We'll see.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Okay. So Be Forgotten. Yeah, like I said, about a minute and a half or so long. So the world hates God, and the world hates Christians, and the world wants to forget Christians, and we don't really seemingly make an impact in the world. But that's not the end of the story, because God remembers us. We're part of His kingdom. His kingdom lasts forever. He knows every head in our hair. Hair in our head. Sorry about that. And at the end of the day, like let's these are facts. Let's identify in Christ instead of the world, because the world will forget you. Like for example, right? Like remember in the 90s when Michael Jackson was just on top of the world, or let's go back to Madonna. We talked about Madonna last time, and no one's really talking about Madonna anymore. She's getting old. She's ruining her body by adding things surgically, and nobody cares anymore. But she was on top of the world, and eventually no one's really going to remember her. So might as well, as a Christian, like let's just be okay with identifying in Christ and His kingdom. How'd I do?
Let's give you half a point.
Ah,
I don't.
okay.
I don't think I'm as harsh as Rob, but you got it. You got half of it.
That's okay.
That's okay. I think there's a song about that. Yeah. So the song is inspired by a Zinzendorf quote: "Preach the gospel, die and be forgotten."
Love that.
You had said that the world hates Christians. True, but it's not about like the world just forgetting Christians. All of us, we're just grains of sand in the hourglass of time. That I don't really know who my great grandparents are. My great grandkids aren't going to know who I am. Everything that most of us, the 99.9% of all that we do, is going to be forgotten to these sands of time. And so Zinzendorf, he's this, I want to say, I think 16th century preacher, if I don't remember. But he had this quote where he said, "Preach the gospel, die and be forgotten." That if you're going to live this life, do something that has eternal value, essentially. That, to me, that quote's always been comforting because it reminds me that there's something greater than myself, and that if I live to that end, live to the end of glorifying God, enjoying Him forever, as we talked about the catechism question, and spreading the good news of salvation in Christ, then at least I'm doing something that might have eternal value. Now, the reason that I wanted to bookend the album with these two songs is actually it was inspired by a Ronnie Martin article. So he wrote an article called "Preach the Gospel, Die and Be Remembered." And so he took this quote as a jumping off point, but then also talked about how, though, yes, we're forgotten by the world, we are also going to be remembered by our Creator, that He will not forget us. Mm-hmm. And so it's another aspect to find comfort in. Not only am I small and insignificant in a sense, in some eyes, I am significant in my Creator's eyes. And so the song was always intended to be short. Be Remembered, the last song on the album, was actually the most difficult one to kind of nail down because it's mostly vocals and vocal harmonies and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of layers on there, and all of the different vocal melodies in that song are pieces of different melodies that come earlier on the album. And so I wanted to kind of bring forward some of the previous melodies into that song. One as, symbolism for the line "Be Remembered," mm-hmm. But we'll leave it there.
Thank you for that. Thank you for explaining that. I wasn't way off, but then I was in a sense.
A little, just a little.
Close. That's cool though. Man, I gotta throw in something. This guitar lick, the way you come in on all the feels, that's definitely my favorite part of the record. Just that nice. Intro, just how that, I don't know, there's an effect on the guitar and just the way you kind of come in. That's kind of that surf rock style. And the lines are very good. The lines about, it's okay to follow Jesus. I'm going to butcher this, but until He opens His mouth, it's very striking on top of a very smooth song. So it's very jarring in a good way. So I love that song.
Thank you.
So I had to throw that in there.
Very much. That.
Well, actually, that's a great segue, Cody. Thank you for that. We're going to start talking about geeky stuff. So we're going to be talking about guitar sounds. We're going to be talking about microphones, the lack of drums and castanets.
How many toy pianos made it on the record?
But, hey, yeah, exactly.
Just one, but I recorded two of them on octave.
Hey Cody, I'm gonna pull up. So I had Eric take some pictures of his studio. So we're gonna start with that. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna bring up the very first picture. If I
calling it a studio is generous. It's very kind of you.
Well, you got a lot of wood and you got a Lego guitar there. I think that's fine. Yeah. Okay, so the first one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and show this on the screen here for people watching on YouTube here. So this is the picture of your guitar. You got just a little Yamaha guitar. I thought it would be like an old Gibson or something. So is this the
Oh
guitar
no,
you
I'm not
record?
that cool. No, so the Yamaha one, I actually can't see which pictures you're pulling up, but I obviously um, know what guitar you're talking about. That's a somewhat newer one, actually. I found a good deal on it. The acoustic guitar I used on this album is in my closet. It is a Siegel S6, I think is what it's called.
Hmm.
I've had that one for a long time.
Yeah, they're
It's a
in
nice
San
cedar
Diego. Are
top.
they?
It's aged. Hmm?
I was going to say, are they based in San Diego, Siegel?
Siegel, I think they're in Canada,
Oh,
actually.
okay.
Yeah,
I'm not.
like kind of
I'm
the
not. I'm not even
exact
gonna try.
opposite of San Diego.
Yeah, I'm not going to try, guys. I'm done guessing.
Yeah.
And then
No,
you
I
have
don't. I
that
don't
little,
know.
and now you have that, and you have that little piano in back. So that's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
now I know,
Yeah.
I know the origin of that thing.
Yeah.
And a bunch of Calvinist books that kind of brings it to a different level. I like it.
Yep.
Let's go to. I think you have a rack of guitars. I'm going to skip to. Okay, there we go. We got a rack of guitars. I see a. Yep, I see a either a Jaguar. I think it's a Jaguar and a Jazzmaster, right?
I'm enjoying this. I love the chaos.
Yeah.
I love just like
Yeah.
seeing you guys
Scramble.
just describing instead of, I could just tell you the guitars that I have if you want instead of you
Okay.
guessing.
What's the baby blue one? What's that one?
The baby blue one. That's just a Squire Jaguar. So my two 6-string electric guitars are both Jaguars. I've got a Fender Jaguar that is a made in Japan, and then a Squire Jaguar. And I love the short scale. I've got small hands, and I love surf rock. So the shorter scale Jaguar guitars are like the perfect one for me. In fact, my almost 12-year-old son, he turns 12 in like 2 weeks. He has the same size hands as I do. If that tells you anything about, like, my wife and I actually have the same size hands. When we used to, we don't wear wedding rings anymore. We got tattoos, but when we used to wear wedding rings, we could switch them out because they were the same size, like same diameter. So anyway,
Well, that explains the Hofner. The Hofner is a short scale bass too, right?
yep, okay, yep. So I've got the hot. Well, we'll talk about basses in a sec. Both of those Jaguars though, I have different pickups. I swapped the pickups out on them, and in the Fender, I actually, dang, I'm forgetting the phrase right now. I wax potted those pickups myself. That was an adventure. My wife makes candles. Sometimes she makes beeswax candles. And in preparation for a show that I was playing, I was having a lot of feedback issues with the pickups I had in there because they weren't wax potted. So that was a fun adventure of like late at night, boiling some of my wife's beeswax to do that. Anybody who knows anything about guitars will know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so those are my two Jaguars. Then you brought up the Jazzmaster, Cody. That's just a Squire Paranormal 12-string Jazzmaster. I love 12-string guitars, and I got that one before I started working on this album specifically, so I could put some 12-string on there that I didn't have on previous albums. So that guy's fun. And then basses. My go-to bass on this album is a Squire Jaguar bass. It's a medium scale. Flat wound strings, I use only the P bass pickup. I mute the J bass pickup. Usually mute it with a sponge. I'm a big fan of Motown, big fan of James Jamerson as a bass player. I'm, maybe someday I'll be able to play something that
I didn't know
him.
I didn't know a Jaguar bass existed. So that was used by a lot of the old Motown R&B.
No,
Like
they would
artists,
use
or
like not
like
a
a
Jaguar bass,
like a P bass or something,
but
right?
P bass, yeah. And this one has P bass pickups in it.
Got it.
That I love the P bass sound. And then next to it in that picture is I've got a Hofner, which I do love the Beatles. People think of Paul McCartney when they think of a Hofner bass. I actually I'm a bigger Beach Boys fan, and there was a period in the late '60s where when they were recording "Smiley Smile," that they were Carl Wilson would actually play a Hofner bass. I didn't get it for any of those reasons. It just has a nice, really woody, plucky kind of tone.
Is that
that's a fun one.
Is that an ignition, or is that like a different?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the cheap one. Again, all my gear I found like crazy deals on. Like I'm a bang for your buck. Find it used and cheap.
I'll one up you. I buy a lot of guitars on Temu.
Oh no.
And I buy knockoffs and I put real pickups in there to make it sound, to make it
Nice.
sound legit. So my Hofner is worse than your Ignition.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if that makes you feel better.
I mean, I thank you. I don't feel bad about using. I like using cheap guitars. I mean, the important thing is I have a guy here in town who sets up. He's great at doing setups, and so he sets them all up so that they play wonderfully. And if I feel like it needs new pickups or something to bring some more life, I'll swap those out. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm a dad with 3 kids and doing everything on a budget, man. So yeah, and then I've been looking at changing up some different tones with bass on some new recordings and stuff. And so behind me here, I got a Squire Bass 6 that I'm going to be incorporating a little bit more. I don't have that on the latest album, but those things are so fun to play. Just kind of a weird in between place between a guitar and a bass. So yeah,
Interesting. Okay.
And then I've got a little lap steel, which
That's
I don't really know how to play.
was that a little Rogue one
guy.
in the back there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool, man. Cool. And then the last one I'm going to look at here, Eric, is a picture of your whole band, the computer. Looks like
My
it's,
band, yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah.
So I like the Romans picture. Is that the whole book of Romans?
Yeah, that is the entire book of Romans on a
Okay.
poster.
I'm glad you didn't black out Romans chapter 7, 8, and 9. So congratulations on that. A lot of people don't like those chapters.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you just got a little MIDI keyboard, and just looks like a little what do you call those little Macs? Is it a Mac Mini? Mac Mini?
Yeah, that's new, man. That's the newest member of the band. So all my previous albums were recorded on a little iMac that I got in 2011, I think it was, maybe 2012, something like that. It was so old, I couldn't update the software on it anymore for a while. I had an older version of Logic I was using, and it would crash on me almost at least once every night. It would just stop working for me because it was so old. So it got to a point, though, where as I was thinking about, okay, if I'm going to ever write another album or anything, I can't keep doing it on this computer. So, I got a little Mac Mini, and
Doesn't take up any space. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's been a headache. I don't know. I'm not savvy with computers. You guys are software engineers, but migrating all my old stuff onto this, things aren't working right, and it's been a real pain, real headache. But things don't crash on me when I'm using it anymore. So it runs and it seems fast. So the new album might be, it'll have the faster Mac Mini sound to it. I don't know.
Awesome, yeah, and got a little whiskey there too. Is that your homegrown whiskey, or is that another?
It depends. I don't know what was in the glass in that picture, but I enjoy lots of different kinds.
Cool, man. Yeah, and I'm going to ask you one more question about the geeky stuff here, and we got to move on to the questions. But I'm a brand new guitar player. I think I asked Rob this exact question, and I need 3 pedals. I need 3 pedals. What do I buy?
Well, I mean, what kind of music are you wanting to play? What's your budget? That's such an open-ended question.
Let's say forget about the budget. Let's just say here's 3 that could just get me started.
And you have an amp?
Do a lot with it. And I have an amplifier, yeah. And I'm a very bare bones amp, right? That my amp has reverb and has overdrive.
Okay. Well, I'm still going to suggest a reverb because it's my favorite effect. Spring reverb. I've got a little Surfy Bear now. We'll see if that makes it on the new album. I know you didn't ask, but I was using a plug-in that I found that I adore for Spring Reverb, and I haven't shot them out yet, to compare the two. But as far as Spring Reverb, pedals go, a Surfy Bear is the way to go. You get that nice surfy drip to it. It's an actual spring in there. So that's great. But then, let's see, I'm gonna look at my pedal board. Okay, so one that's really fun, it's not needed, but I like this pedal a lot, is I've got a Digitech Mosaic. and I only got it for playing live shows, which I pretty much never do. It replicates a 12-string guitar, so that way I don't have to actually bring my 12-string, and I can just turn my pedal on, and boom, I've got a 12-string sound. That's fun and makes it so I don't have to switch guitars. Oh, you know what? A vibrato. That is, I love. Oh, or phaser or vibrato. I know Rob. I think what Rob suggested, a chorus pedal.
Yeah, he's big on chorus. Yeah.
Yeah, I love chorus. I don't write music that I know how to use a chorus pedal in, so I actually don't even own a chorus pedal at the moment because I don't write cool like fine china music that could use a chorus. But I love vibrato pedals.
I'll put the picture of your pedals actually on
Okay.
there. Boom. It's on there now.
Cool.
The people could see it, and bottom left
Judge
is
my pedal. All you guitar players, judge my pedal board just like I judge yours. Let's do it.
Mosaic bottom right, Mosaic. Bottom
Yeah.
left is the Surf Bear reverb. That's a
Yeah.
lot.
No, that's why I was asking about budget. That's expensive.
That's a lot of
real
knobs for a
estate on
reverb. Yeah, holy cow.
It's-
And then do you have the vibrato one in this picture here? Or
Yeah, it's the orange one there.
or the American?
No, the one like the little orange one. But let's see, if you were to buy a vibrato. Okay, you stay on the budget because the Surfy Bear is expensive, right? I have this, it's not on my board, but it's great. It's a Behringer pedal, which, like made in China, whatever. It's plastic, but they're ultra vibrato, I think is what it's called. It's a green pedal. It looks like one of those old Boss pedals. It's a solid vibrato pedal for like $30.
Okay.
Great pedal. The only other effect I know you asked for 3 is a tremolo. You'll want to get a tremolo. I love tremolo. So
Cool, man. Cool. Cody, do you have anything to add, Cody, to that?
I'm all set.
One day I might actually go buy these pedals. What you recommend and what Rob recommended. We'll see. Maybe I could buy a knockoff on Temu. We'll see. Okay, next thing. We are going to go to the last part here, Eric. We have a few fan questions. So we're just going to go right into this. William Eckhard, he's a VBM legend, by the way. So he's good.
yeah, he's awesome is what he is.
Yeah, he has good questions here. First one, very basic. Yeah, what's your top 5 VBM releases? Top 5.
Man, I was giving this some thought earlier because I knew you were going to ask this. So I have to rule out Starflyer. If I kept Starflyer in the mix, I mean, it would just dominate, and I think that's not fair. Jason is one of my all-time favorite artists. He belongs on the Mount Rushmore of musicians. So ruling Starflyer out, I think I have to go with Gilead Taylor's Slow Parade. I think that album is stunningly beautiful. Like it like gets into my soul when I listen to that album. It's so beautiful. All of her stuff's great. I could have also put Songs for Late at Night Volume 2 on this list. Leam of Earth, I want to throw that on here too, but I'm not going to because I already put Gilead on the list. So I'm trying to limit it to like one thing by an artist. Okay, so the next one would probably be the Broadway Hushes, and I'm just going to say both the Sun songs and Moon songs, both of those 7 inches, I'm just going to count as one release, even though they weren't. One, it's, I think it's what got me into Velvet Blue, but also, again, I just love anything that Michael and Whitney do together. It's just a fun couple little 7-inch records. And this one was tough. So Air Review, I'm going to go with Air Review's Low Wishes.
That's a great one.
I think their album, How We Got By, is probably like the more sophisticated, better album. I mean, that's a tough listen though, like the emotions in that album. But Low Wishes, I think, just got a lot more listens from me. Like it's a much more fun album to put on. So we'll go with that one. Ronnie Martin's From the Womb of the Morning. I think I'm going to go with that one as a favorite. It took me, again, I wasn't like a tooth and nail kid growing up, and I had some friends late like in late high school that were into Joy Electric, and I never really got into Joy Electric at like a younger age. What really did it for me was that album. It was that Ronnie Martin from the Dew of Your, what is it called? I actually have to write it down. I love his title, but it's so long. From the Womb of the Morning. There we go.
Yeah. Interesting.
That was, I think, the thing that made Ronnie's music like lock and like click into place in my brain, so that I could even like really enjoy his Joy Electric stuff. Again, I'm a poser here. I don't even know why I'm on the VBM podcast. Like everybody listening to this is like, I was a fan of Joy Electric from the very beginning. I'm sorry, I wasn't. I'm just a poser. But okay, so I think that's 4.
I'm surprised you haven't mentioned any Lassie Foundation.
That map also is an honorable mention. Maybe Secrets by the Highway, or Speechless. I like throwing Speechless on, because like I love all the instrumentals that Josh was doing. Oh, by the way, I think Josh Dooley played guitar on some of those Broadway Hush songs, if I remember right. Which
he did, yeah.
A cool little tie-in, yeah.
And the cover by Richard Swift.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, I mean, Richard Swift, there's the novelist. Like there's a lot of honorable mentions that were tough to keep off of a list of like top 5 VBM releases. So I say this knowing that there maybe is a recency bias, but I'm torn between either the Rocky Valentine's Music on the Shelf or Fine China's I Felt Called for like my 5th spot. I've listened to the crap out of both those albums this year, I guess 2025, this past year. I think they're both fantastic, and I could see them solidifying in that spot, one or the other. But yeah, I mean, there's too many good releases. When you put that on the outline for the show, that question, I was like, oh no.
That's great.
What was the? Oh, go ahead, Cody. Go ahead.
Well, no, I'm just saying deep cuts, man. You got Air Review in there. You got Broadway Hush. I mean, I don't think a lot of people are talking about those releases. So that's hopefully that'll bring back a couple of streams for VBM. We'll see.
Yeah, the sad thing is, I think you can find a couple of the Broadway Hush songs on streaming, but they're just 7 inches, and I think they're hard to come by these days. So yeah, I have a horrible record player, so like I can't even listen to those half the time. Like, so I'm going off of memory. I love those 7 inches, but it has been a while since I've listened to them because my record player sucks.
Gotcha.
I got to change that.
Well, cool. There is probably one that I haven't heard in that list, but I'm going to go back and listen. I think it was the first one when you said it was a
Gilead Taylor's Slow Parade?
Yeah, I'm going to have to listen.
You haven't heard that?
No.
I got to listen to that too. I feel bad because she might eventually come onto this podcast, and we need to
that was 2024, I think it was, the year that released. That was my favorite album of that year.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So when Jeff was like, "Hey, let's release this album on Velvet Blue," there was 2 artists, like one, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe like Jeff wants to release this album on this label that I adore, and it's the same label that Jason's been releasing stuff on. I love his stuff, but like that, we were talking around the time he released that album, and I was like, that's not right. I can't be on the same label that Gilead Taylor's on. Like, her album just like is stunning. It is a stunning album, and it feels wrong that Fepeste is releasing music on the same label as her. It like really does. Like, you have to listen to that album, and you have to get her.
I'll listen for sure.
Great.
I'll listen for sure this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go to the second one here. This is your pal Chet Harvey. So he asked, how was the song All the Feels produced? Like all the harmonies, the horns, the guitars, pretty briefly.
Yeah. So that's a good question. Thank you, Chet. Of all the songs on the album, that is the one that has changed the most from when I first wrote it. The way I kind of write songs. So if anybody listened, obviously you guys have all listened to the Rob Witham episode, but when he talks about his writing process and recording process, how they're kind of one and the same, where he's kind of writing and recording at the same time. It's very, very similar for me. I come in here, this little room at nights when the kids are in bed, and I just kind of chip away at these songs, and I'm kind of recording them as I'm writing them. Now, so that what that means is I don't usually have demos that are wildly different from what the end result ends up being. Like I'll change some things here and there from like a demo, but they don't usually change a lot. All the Feels, though, is the only song on this album that actually went through a really dramatic change in sound. It was originally like much more keyboard forward, keyboard based. And so I've been toying around with sending the demo. I just heard it, but I send it to him again. Maybe we'll put out like the alternate version. So what happened with that song is I wasn't even intending to rewrite it. I think I was messing around with some drum beats or something, and I played that opening guitar lick, Cody, that you talked about. I was just kind of like noodling around one night, and I couldn't. It's been a while, so I couldn't tell you exactly what my thought process was, but I just thought like that's the direction I think I want this song to go, because I was nervous that the old version wouldn't fit on the album. So I wasn't even like trying to rewrite it. It kind of happened. But what that means is I had the old version done when Taya, my friend Taya, was visiting. And so I had her record her vocal harmonies to that song. But when I made the changes, I tried to keep it within like the same key, the same tempo, so that I could use as many of her vocals as possible, like that they would transfer over from one version to the other. But I ended up changing one of the lyrics. And so I had to drop her vocals out on one part, and I had to replace them with like my own voice harmonizing with her. And so that's what the chorus is. So the old chorus, I think, was, I think it started like, everybody loves Jesus until he opens up his mouth. And I ended up changing the line after the fact to, it can be easy to love Jesus until he opens up his mouth. And because of that, Taya's already back on the other side of the world. I couldn't have her re-record her vocals. And so some of the like end result of that song was just me moving crap around and playing with it until it worked. But I was having to like piece things together in a way that was less than ideal, if that makes sense. But all the horns on the song those are all MIDI, sorry to say. All of the saxophone on the album is my buddy Nick Weber.
Cool.
He's an awesome multi-instrumentalist, but that song doesn't have any actual saxophone on it. So those are all like, I think, MIDI trombone and trumpet and stuff like that. But I was kind of going for a little bit more of a, I don't know, a relaxed vibe, like soulful kind of thing with it. So, I was thinking the other day about how do I get the demo or alternate version of that song out into the world, because I think people will be surprised at how different it actually ended up being.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Yeah.
Could be a future 7-inch or something, right?
Yeah.
Well, good, man. Cool. Cody, do you want to add anything or go to the next question?
I could ask the next question.
Yeah, go for it.
So if on a desert island, what 3 records would you have with you? And this is asked by Jared Collinger.
Jared Collinger. You mean the enigmatic foe? I can't talk
The
now.
one and only.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to his new album, by the way. Everybody should go pre-order that. I love the new singles. So, that question. Okay, so is it
all-time record? Like, I know one of them's like Pet Sounds or something, right?
So my top 3 albums, I guess, there's an album called Hebrews by the band Solos. It's spelled Psallos, Solos. The P is silent. That album is basically just the book of Hebrews, put into music form, basically.
Okay.
So sometimes they're like the lyrics are directly taken from scripture. Other times they're just influenced, inspired by that. It's a long album, and I pretty much only listen to it when I can listen to it front to back, because it's a hard one to like listen to a few songs of. And so I always like save it for road trips and long drives. It's one of my go-tos. It's just beautiful scripture and song form. I think the next one would probably have to be Jimmy Eat World's Clarity.
Good choice.
Just that came out at a time for me that like really shaped my love for certain types of music. And it just has had a lasting impact, and it's, it became a special album with my wife and I. So, Clarity And then, third one will be Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys.
Of course.
Yep.
Yeah. Fun
Classic
fact
for
about
me. Yeah.
Jimmy Eat World, they're from Phoenix. So
Yep.
here in the backyard. So once in a while, I mean, this hasn't happened recently, but I'd be like at Crescent Ballroom eating nachos before going to a concert, and Jim Atkins is like sitting right next to me. That's happened a couple times just in random places. So they're,
Wow.
you might bump into them if you're hanging around Phoenix. So,
That's awesome. I've only been to Phoenix once. It was in June. And it was
it's a long time.
116 degrees. You guys were having
jeez.
like
Yeah.
almost record level heat that year.
Don't come
And
during
it was
that time.
miserable.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
rough. And good choice on Pet Sounds, by the way. I'm curious. I mean,
Yeah.
you can get really geeky with the Beach Boys because it's, Pet Sounds is always the go-to. But I think the Smile album has some really great moments on it too. Just Smiley Smile,
Yeah.
just that whole recording session.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate that like Smile was never really officially finished. I think he was onto some really awesome stuff. I don't know even if he had finished it, if it would have unseated Pet Sounds
Well,
for me.
he tried to finish it. Didn't he have a release back in 2001 called
Yeah.
called
Yeah, 2004.
Brian Wilson's
Yep.
Smile, and that was
Yep, yep.
that was
Session or
supposed to
something.
that's supposed to be the finished product. But I like the one before that was released in the 60s. So
Yep.
Smiley Smile.
yeah.
Dude, that is a wild
I kind of
album.
like
People,
how it sounded cool unfinished.
well, it's a totally different album. Like the songs are all like recorded differently. They're different versions of some of the songs, and some, that's a wild album that people have found that there were doctors that were using that album in like drug rehabilitation, like treatment centers for people coming down off of like LSD and stuff like that, and they'd have like these bad trips, and they'd put that album on, and it would help them come down, which is crazy because you have the Woody Woodpecker song. What's the name of it? I can't remember right now. It's like a terrifying song. I couldn't even imagine listening to that if I was tripping. It would be wild.
I was going to say it'd make it worse.
Anyway, yeah. But I honestly, Joey, you're here. I have to tell you, my honorable mention would either be for like my fourth favorite album would either be Leave Here a Stranger or Talking Voice versus Singing Voice, which I know you're not on that one.
Frank Lentz did some awesome strings on that.
Yeah.
I mean, he pretty much produced all the strings and the what else did he have horns in that too? But he did great. He did awesome producing that. Yeah, but I appreciate it because that was like my only full length with Starflyer, and basically I remember driving to the green room, praying to God, like, can you just help me come up with some good parts? And there was a lot, like pretty much everything that I did was like the drum solo at the end of Things Like This Help Me. That was one take, right? I was just caught up in the moment.
You're a beast.
It's just the Lord providing, the Lord just answering my prayer. So I appreciate it. I'm glad you appreciate it because I hope I wish the rest of the world did, but I'm glad you did. Cody, do you want to?
If the rest of the world liked it, it probably would suck. That's the problem. If everybody likes it, it's probably not.
You got a point there. Yeah. So, I'll take the last one here, Cody. This is from Cloud. So Cloud asks, "Have you been on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail?"
I have not. I have actually never even been to Kentucky, which is a shame. I've been making bourbon for a long time now, and there's a couple times that my wife and I have wanted to get out there and do that, but every time we start making plans, something comes up, and so there's been a couple of times we've had to postpone it, and it's someday I'll get out there. But
I'm imagining, I don't know what that is, but I'm imagining it's probably a couple of miles of different distilleries that you just kind of hit here. Hit the next one. Is that right? Is that
not exactly?
Man, I'm not good at this.
It's just all the different distilleries in Kentucky, which they're spread out a little further than just a few miles from each other. You do have some that are in, the same town, same city, but it's just it's a thing where you can like get a little Kentucky Bourbon Trail passport thing, and you go around, you get it's stamped at all the different distilleries. But it's kind of like the adult version of Pokemon. You go around and you catch them all. You go to each distillery, you get your little stamp, and you get your tour and try your different whiskey. But yeah.
That's funny, man. The next question, I think we know the answer to this here. Where do we buy your records? I guess velvetbluemusic.com. Is that right? Okay.
Velvetbluemusic.com is the best place for the latest album. Or you can go to the Velvet Blue Bandcamp page. But yeah, for the latest album, that's the place. And then if you want any older stuff or T-shirts or anything like that, you can go to the Bandcamp page for Fepeste.
Go on a Friday.
Yeah, well, first Friday of every month. Yep.
Oh, I thought they did it every Friday. That's a bummer.
No,
What is it,
no,
like a sale or something, or?
Yeah. So Bandcamp Friday is what it's called, and it started around COVID, if I remember right, just so they could like support art, like working artists more who weren't able to go out and play shows and all that stuff. They waived their revenue, the fee that basically Bandcamp takes when you buy something on there. So 100% of the proceeds like go to the artists on Bandcamp Fridays.
Okay.
But it's usually just the first Friday of every month, and they've backed off on it though too, where it's not every month now. It's most months they do it, but there are some they don't. So
Oh man.
yeah, it's if you're buying on Bandcamp, it's the best time if you want all the money to go to the artist. So
Okay, I didn't know that. Any shows coming up, Eric?
no, man.
Any tours?
I don't have a
any of
band.
that?
I don't have a band or anything, not a real band. I'd love to put one together. I don't actually really like playing shows. I get stage fright. It's a lot of work. I'd rather just kind of hole up in here and write some new songs and write a new album. But I have wanted to play some shows, so we'll see. Maybe something happens this year.
If you do a little Idaho tour, I'll be happy to play for you. But unfortunately, I can't do like the full all the way like all around America like I used to with Starflyer. So that's my offer to you. But
yeah, you're
You gotta match the clunky rhythm. Like
I'll try.
You're gonna have to play crappy, Joey.
But you have
I don't know if that's possible.
You have
for
to play Alan Jackson songs, so that's pretty much all the songs I play live anymore. So. Okay. Anyway, well, we're gonna go ahead and close it. I had a really good conversation with Eric. I think Cody feels the same. I'm speaking for you, Cody, too.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. I just wanted to tell you that your record was really encouraging. It's something I could just buy my kids and then walk away, and I don't have to tell them to skip any songs or anything like I do. All the other records I buy them, but it is encouraging. As I get older, I just kind of want to listen to good Christian music, and there's not a lot out there. And I'm glad you put out a good Christian record that I could listen to and enjoy. And
put out albums for old men, old Christian men that are curmudgeon-y and that don't want to listen to like what the new kids are listening to. That's my jam.
That's
I love it.
either way I enjoy it. But and I'm just looking forward to your future releases, and hopefully Cloud puts those out, and hopefully I'll be able to interview you in a few years. What do you think?
Yeah, I would love to. Thank you for doing this. And you did say, we were texting back and forth, and you said, cheesier the better for this episode. So I have a dad joke, or I have just a joke to tell if you want to hear it. I just heard this one the other day.
Do it.
I don't know if I'm gonna tell it right, because I haven't told this one to anybody yet. How can you tell the difference between the people from Dubai and Abu Dhabi?
Dubai and Abu Dhabi. I give up.
The people from Dubai don't like the Flintstones, but the people from Abu Dhabi do.
That actually made me angry.
You can cut that.
No way, man. We're keeping that. No. Oh, holy cow. Okay. It's so bad that it's good.
I don't know about that.
No, that's great. No, that's good. But anyway, yeah. Thank you for everything that you do. Keep it up, Cody. Do you want any finishing last thoughts here?
No, that's all. I mean, it's all I got. Thank you so much, Eric, for making the time. Nice to meet you, and hear about the background of this album. And hope this was encouraging, and hope people listening will definitely check out the record and go buy it. And it's really great artwork. So you're missing out if you don't have one.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it very much.
This world ain't mine to change, and that's okay.
Thanks for listening to the Velvet Blue Music podcast. To support Velvet Blue Music and the artists you've heard today, pick up records directly at velvetbluemusic.com and be sure to follow and stream our bands on platforms like SoundCloud and Bandcamp. For more conversations with artists from across Velvet Blue's 30 plus years of history, follow us on Facebook and Instagram so you never miss an episode. This is a Velvet Blue Music production.